Today I'm at the Harley Fingers Safe Company, where I was asked if I could help out and try to figure out the combination to this old Wells Fargo safe. As we opened the safe up, luckily when they got it, it was unlocked. You can see that the door, 7 inches thick, made of steel. Very beefy unit. This is the tumbler assembly behind a steel plate. We start by removing the steel plate on the back of the door to get to the tumbler assembly and see what's inside. Once we remove it, we see a steel box that surrounds the tumbler assembly. They definitely didn't want anyone to get in there. We start out by removing this small screw, which will remove the tumbler assembly, I hope. Carefully remove the tumbler assembly, don't yank it out of there, and we can see that all the notches are lined up from where the safe was open. As you look inside, you can see that the 5th tumbler is connected to the outside dial. When we turn around and look at the front, we know that 95 is the last number and is not adjustable. You can tell from the intricacies of these dials that they were made by a watchmaker. I started out with a plastic piece so that I could mount the tumblers in it so I could get an idea of what the numbers were and what was the sequence. I fabricated a plastic dial with a drive pin and a hub in the center and made sure that the drive pin was in the exact same spot as the one on the original safe. I lined it up 6 o'clock with the drive pin perfectly down below and then looked at the front of the safe to see what number it was on. This particular safe was 13. Now I knew to make my drive pin straight up and down at 6 o'clock and mount the disc to 13 at that number. I placed the tumbler assembly in the plastic thing and started working on it. My first one came out to be turn it right 5 times to number 10. Here you can see the disc closest to the left lining up with the red marks. Then we turn it to the left. We count how many times we went past the number 10, and so on and so forth. This gave us a good way to see what our sequence was and what was happening inside when we turned the dial. As we turn it, we can now see that 3 times, and we got past number 10 to our second number, which is 60. Continue in the same motion till you get all of your numbers down for these particular 4 units. I wrote it down at least 3 or 4 times different. Every time I did it, I was a little different, so I figured, well, better safe than sorry. Then it was right 2 times to 60, and last number was 50. I now had the 4 numbers, with 95 being the 5th, and it was time to try it out. Since the plastic case gave me the way to figure out how everything was moving and how much to turn everything, it was a real help. You can see that that pin rides in that groove all the way around each one of the tumblers, and in each one of those there's a drive pin that drives the next one. Carefully replace the tumbler assembly back into the unit and replace the back cover. You can now start trying your different combinations. And if at first you don't get it, don't feel bad. It took me 3 or 4 times of doing this over a period of time. Don't get frustrated. If you get frustrated, walk away and come back when you feel a little better. But with some patience and some practice, you'll be able to figure out the combination and the sequence in which to get it. I hope this video helps.